Alright guys, you ready? You ready to rock? Alright, welcome back to Planet Coaster 2 with Miners Mountain Express. Hope you guys are excited. Let me know on the audio level if the music's too loud. I did do it off screen, but we have ourselves the customized trains for Miners Mountain Express. I went off the concept art and the all that fun stuff, the promotional art and everything. We even have a little pickaxe at the front. The front car is a lot different from the other cars. The other cars kind of have like that little minecart wooden plank feel. The front car has kind of got this real rustic kind of cart feel going on for it. Also with the Marvel Cave Mining Company logo on the side. I just realized I had to flip this one around on these. It's actually backwards. Hopefully we can get a hold of that, because it's going to be kind of difficult. But I think they turned out pretty solid. They're not 100% perfect, but I think they turned out pretty good on these trains. I think it's going to work really, really well. So I'm very excited for that. I have redone, off-screen, the spaghetti bowl section so many times. I've lost count. It may have been like 3 or 4 times at this point, redoing this over and over until I can kind of get it to where I want. I got the second lift positioned where I want it, but getting it to line up has been the tough part. And then, of course, we gotta fix this as well for the station fly-through. This needs to be dipping down a lot further, I noticed, but at least we got it. I really want to get into the second half, though, because the second half looks so good. And I think we need to reposition everything in general. I think we're a little bit too close to Powder Keg. Maybe we're not. I'm not entirely sure where it is relation to Powder Keg here too much. But we might just position the whole ride and go from there. I need to reposition the tower, obviously. As you can see, the track goes right through it. It needs to go around it. Your message about all the stats. Let me see if my display game capture... Game capture is not working. Like, I had to do display capture for some reason. I'm not sure why it's not working. But it's not capturing... As you can see, it's not capturing the game for some reason. Not entirely sure why. See if it does it when I change that setting. Doesn't look like it. I don't know why it's not working. OBS is not having it, so we're just gonna have to do display capture for now. Anyways. Yeah, I wish they would have had the other coasters in the animation. That would have been helpful. Yeah, see, it's not working. I know the stats pretty well already, so I know the first lift hill is about 97 feet from bottom to top, and then the second one's like 60-something feet. But that's just with the elevation change. They're about the same height. I mean, the second lift might actually be a little bit taller elevation-wise. But like the length of the lifts is what matters there, so. Alright, and then we're also gonna have to adjust a little bit of American Plunge. I almost said Flooded Mine. Or just adjust the coaster track in general, because it is a little bit kind of going through the tunnels here. So yeah, let's try and first thing I'm gonna do is try and adjust the ride itself and see if I can position it better. I have to turn off angle snap here. I think I'm gonna lift it up a bit to where it's higher up off the ground in general. Okay. I might position it a little bit differently here. But you can see that every time I move it, I gotta be careful because this turn is way too far out here. I think I should probably just redo this section right here and try and make it shorter to get it going. But again, I feel like I'm a little bit too close to Powder Keg, and I don't know if this lift hill is parallel with Powder Keg's launch. I know it gets pretty close, but I just don't know how close. And that's why I wish there was a bit more to go off of. And we can adjust it later on once we do get that a little bit more confirmed of how that's going to turn out. I feel like, yeah, we could probably start this turn a little sooner. That way we can get the turnaround, and that'd probably make it easier to line up with the lift hill to begin with. So this is a little difficult to get exactly where we want it, especially with the lift hills. I just don't know how. I know there's a pathway that this is going to actually take. I don't know if the pathway is where the pathway goes under the first lift. I think that it's going to have to. Let's take a look, see if I can see here. It looks like it's closer. The pathway is a little bit closer under the drop more than anything. So like right here. Right by American Plunge. Looks like it's gonna be a little closer right there, so. Again, I've been trying to perfect this a lot lately, and it's been very difficult. I think this is about the best we're gonna get right now. Somewhere around right here. And again, I did raise it up a little bit. Let's lower it just a tad here. And again, we're gonna have to reposition the head frame tower. Just a little bit. Maybe if we go a little bit this way and rotate it more this way. Let's try that, actually. I actually think that's gonna be the best case scenario here. I don't know how much it goes over this path. We're gonna take a look here. I'm actually gonna take, we're gonna get that bird's eye view. That's been the best reference so far, is the bird's eye view video. Getting that as the reference has been, that reference has been the best for us. If I can find it. Bird's eye view. Very excited to have the opportunity to actually operate this ride too. It's gonna be fun. Hello, welcome to the stream. Alright, this gives us a, because you can actually see this path in the animation. So I think we're good actually to rotate it a bit more this way. Because it does kind of go over that path a little bit. And then this is the tunnel. That actually looks about where it would be. This gives us a little bit more space right there. We are really close to Powder Keg. And I think having this more angled allows us to get that fit the tunnel in a little bit easier too. I think this positioning is going to be a lot better for us. Yeah, I'm gonna be even if I'm not, if it doesn't end up being my home ride, I already know I'm gonna be able to get signed off. I know that much. I will be getting signed off on this ride. next year. Unless I get, like, a supervisor position randomly or something like that. That'd be the only reason why I wouldn't. Is if I got a promotion of some sort. My only issue here is now it's a little bit close to Wildfire's track here, and I don't know if that's very accurate. That's the only problem I'm kind of leaning into. Maybe we can press it a little bit further this way. I can also adjust Wildfire's track a little bit too, if needed. I also need room for the storage building. There's gonna be a storage building right there as well. And that last turn's gonna come out over here. We're gonna do that turn into the brake run. Wildfire might get in the way of that though, if we're not careful. I push it a little further this way. I'm trying to get the best placement I can. Hey, what's up, Jake? You know how tall the super tall metal structure thing is? Is it over 200? It's they've said 15 stories, so I'm assuming it's about 150 feet. The Doe Run Mine Tower, yeah. The mining head frame. Mining head frame. Pretty cool stuff. I love that it's authentic. Like it's a real, relocated head frame. How'd you get the log flume to drop like that? You mean just like this? No limits mod. No track limits mod. I'm pretty sure. I don't know if you can actually do that without the mod or not. If you can't, it's going to be because of the no track limits mod. We're going to redo this turn though, so that I'm not too concerned. I just don't know how close it is to Powder Keg. That's the one thing is, because this launch on Powder Keg this spot right here is based off the floor plan. So, like, that is where Powder Keg's launch sits. So, after we get this kind of placed where we want it, which we're pretty close, I think. Still gonna push it just a little further here. I'm gonna probably redo this turn slightly going into the station fly-through. And then that new path is gonna come under here, because we're gonna have a pathway that goes through here, connecting the dead ends. Yeah, it does get close. I just don't know how close. I've seen the footers in this area, and they're right up next to Powder Keg, so off of that observation, I feel like that, like the first hill, it might be right here. You know, it might be this close to Powder Keg's launch, to be honest. Alright, this positioning looks pretty good, and I actually think this turn right here actually is right over the waterfall, too. So that seems pretty good. I'm going to, again, redo this turn to where it's tighter. That actually gives us more space right here. And then we're going to redo this the wave turn a little bit, because this needs to dip down further down. And I think this will allow us to do that. We just got to retrack it. I'm most concerned about like how this is going, shaping up over here, because we are going to have to make the brake run also. And make sure that that angle's okay, because it's supposed to be kind of like a 90-degree angle, but like Wildfire might get in the way. We might have to make some adjustments. The station building is almost perpendicular to Wildfire shop. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to make that work. It's gonna be close without pushing it that way. I know it's pretty close, that's why I did rotate it more. But closer to the back. Okay, my problem is I'm getting a little too close to Powder Keg. We can reload, maybe move Powder Keg just a tiny bit if we need to. This isn't final, this is just a guide track, like this is just a test track basically. Like I can move that a little bit. Because I know we probably need to... The station probably does need to be pushed back a little bit further. I hate to have to redo this pre-lift section, since I already did all the wood planks, but might be something we have to do if we want to get it right. New dispatch, you're basically looking at Wildfire's brake run. I mean, you can see that's where the transfer track is. Is it that far back? Don't tell me that, Jake. I'm gonna have to push all this further. That would make me have to redo, like, all of this. I'm already pushing, not having enough space for the pathway here. Making this difficult on me, Jake. It's that far back. Man, how did the... Like, I'm using the floor plan. That's what's crazy. And this is where Powder Keg is sitting on the floor plan, so... Same with Wildfire. So I'm just like... Bruh. It makes sense because, like, this is like a 90-degree turn for the brake run. Or it needs to be a 90-degree turn for the brake run. Like I said, there are probably going to be some inaccuracies here. I mean, look at that. Because this needs to be over the waterfall, where I had it. Yeah, placement is really tough right now. Without having to redo all the track again. That's the tough part. SDC's not running out of space, they just cram this in between two rides. SDC has so much land going this way in real life. They aren't really running out of space. They got lots of space. But there is a path that's going right here, so it opens that possibility of expanding further this way. Because now we have a new path that's going to connect through here, and there is going to be a spot here where they can go this way. So, like, if they want to expand that way, it is a possibility. So there is... They could easily do it. And I'm gonna go over the entrance sign. Don't get the enthusiasts too excited about that. They'll roll with that. Alright, I kind of like... Almost like the placement here. Again, we have to fit storage building, bat tunnel, and then that big turn. And again, I might end up just adjusting Powder Keg a little bit, just to kind of fit a little bit better. We have a little wiggle room over here because there's all that's over here is Powder Keg. So there is a little wiggle room there if it doesn't line up with the floor plan perfectly. But again, there's not much I can do with Miners Mountain Express in that regard, so. But there is the pathway does go right through here, so. Alright, I think we're going to roll with that. Is it perfect? No. But I think that's the best fit that we've had so far. We'll adjust the terrain as well. Anyways, here's the trains if you haven't seen them. I worked on those off screen. This will allow me to adjust this turn here because this needs to be further down and go up into it a lot more. So a few different pieces of track we're going to edit here is mainly this section. I'm going to redo this to where it twists to the left quicker. And that way we can do a tighter right-hand turn. We'll adjust the height if we need to, in case clearance is a problem. And then we need to get over there. Try and make this turn a little tighter. Alright, it's at 16 feet, so we need to start looking towards that 16 feet. I can go just a little bit wider here. Put buzzballers on Grand Expo Coaster. Alright, let's see if we can get this turn lined up here. Let's start building from back here as well. I want to get as close as possible so our pieces are as small as they can be before we start. Basically, I want to smoothly get this turnaround perfect. Alright, so we'll adjust this turn as much as we can here to get the shape that we want it. Pull this out a bit. It's not very accurate on the shape of the turn, but I think it's very wide over here. But I really need that lift hill to be where it's at. That's the thing. So we're gonna try and shape it to where it looks as natural as possible. And then when we hopefully smooth it, it will look good. Once we get to the smoothing phase. What's up? I'm super excited for the ride too. then we're gonna redo this section right here. Keep that about right there. And then I think this is almost 90 degrees. Pretty close. I don't think it's quite 90 degrees, but it's pretty close. Alright, we need to go down a considerable amount here, so let's try and make sure we do. Because it does need to dip down quite a bit before popping back up, going through the station. It still stays banked though, right in this area, because it's still turning. But we need to go far enough down to where it pops back up. 'Cause that's what it does. It kind of like does this little pop back up into the station fly through. So it needs to go down quite a bit here. Much better. And we're gonna have the flat track, so there will be a lot more clearance there, don't worry. We're gonna start going up. Flying clean through the station. Yeah, I'm gonna have to adjust the tower. I'm trying to focus on the layout right now, and then we'll move the tower as we need it. Going through it, though, would have been a pretty cool element, though. That's for sure. If they would have done something like that. Alright, let's see if we can connect that. I just want to make sure the piece is small enough. Go ahead and raise this up a bit. So it hopefully will smooth out pretty well. Hopefully that will be good. Alright, let's take the tower now. I'm gonna slightly move it over. Where there's just enough clearance. Probably have to move it back too, because there's a whole like little water feature thing here too. Entrance of the ride is going to be right behind it. I know the proportions of the tower aren't perfect either. The way I have it, but that's alright. I built it before the ride was announced, so... Alright, and then you're going to have the station fly through. The turn is actually... comes right out of there. And we're gonna have to bank it a lot heavier than it is in the actual thing. And then we're gonna have to go back around here, and then into the tunnel, pop up, and do that last swooping turn. I got the first bit of support structure in, which is fun. It's pretty cool. Yeah, this has definitely been a very challenging ride. It's hard to do mostly because I'm just going based off of concept art and a lot of such stuff, so... Let's see if we can go ahead and smooth this out a bit. I don't know if it's too early to smooth or if we need to make more. I'd like to get this first section done, so we can really focus on the second half and then start doing scenery and making it pretty. As we work on Daredevil Pass. But I hope you guys have been enjoying this as much as I have. It's been a challenge, and I know there are inaccuracies with this, but we're gonna have to live with it a little bit. Because it happens. Especially when you have limited resources on what the full layout is and everything. I mean, we have a animated POV, we have the bird's eye view, and those are probably the two best to go off of. But we'll get all this smoothed out, hopefully. Recently rewatched Westwood. Wow. That's a throwback. Oh yeah, I've gotten so much better since that series, man. So, I'm so much better than what I was back then. Night and day, I think. No, it will not have a triangular track. Just Planet Coaster doesn't allow you to do the heart lining with the flat track. So I have to switch it after I'm done with the track work. So once I get the layout done, I can switch it to the flat track. Because when you're building it, you can't, it won't let you do the, it's really dumb. It doesn't let you do the heart lining with the flat track. I don't know why. We can actually do it now because we can smooth it still. We'll just keep it. Now we can go all the way through here. Now we can select track number 2. Boom. Flat track. It's just when you're smoothing it. And then I'm going to do the, once we for sure got the smoothness down, we're gonna make these pieces longer. That will be a thing. Just want to make sure it's as smooth as possible. We'll probably do a real quick ride through to make sure it's smooth. I think this is the best rendition of the first half I've done so far, though. Alright, let's give it a go. Go powder keg. Hopefully it makes it through. I actually don't think I've tested this yet. Might turn down the friction a little bit. Obviously this isn't gonna, I haven't smoothed this yet, so. Imagine if it was like that. But we can see about how well it rolls through here. We're definitely going to turn the friction down. Yeah, you did get hit by the ground, didn't you? Also, kind of want to see how it's looking off-ride a bit. It's like the narration. It's roughness. I guess you're not wrong there. Yeah, that's a lot better. You'll be flying clean through the station. Yeah, we gotta test it before it's done. We're mad. Same with Powder Keg. Alright, let's see if we can somewhat finish out the rest of the layout here. I think the first half is where we're gonna be at. That's where we're gonna be at for now. I might need to look up something here. My game capture working yet? No. Why is my game capture not working? One sec. Don't know why. Alright, we might have to look up the POV for this one section. I just want to see this hill. Miners, Mountain Express. Bam ba da ba da, bam ba da ba da da, bam ba da da da, ba 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 da da. Alright, let me see this part. So it goes into a turn, an airtime hill, and it's still banked. So that's what I wanted to mainly see. Still got some bankage going on there before it starts to turn. So it's gonna bank up and then going to go into a little bit of this airtime hill. Make the turn a bit lighter here. This is another spot where it kind of does almost a 90-degree bank. Does a very heavy bank right here. Underneath the lift hill. We're gonna bank it quite heavily. To say the least. Then it goes right underneath the lift hill. And right off to the side of it. This is where we're gonna have some fun in this tunnel, where there's gonna be some crazy, like, old lateral stuff going on. This is where it really starts to, like, just start picking up lots of speed and such. Right in this tunnel. I'm excited for this tunnel. It's got a lot going on. It does like a little left turn, like unbanked little turns here that are like pretty insane. I don't know how accurate I am here. It's a little dark in the POV, so it's kind of hard to see it. want to make sure I'm gonna pop out at the right spot here. End of the tunnel. Need to have enough room for that. Banana. Bum, 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 bum. I got enough. Making sure I got enough space for that storage bay. This is a big swooping turn. This is why it's going to be hard to fit in, and why I probably need to be further to the right on my angle, so I can have a lot more space for this turn. I knew that was going to be the case. I'm really trying to mess around with this to get this to be as functional as possible. It's gonna be tough. But I gotta avoid wildfire. That's the tough part. Yeah, we want to work backwards a little bit here. Alright. We gotta get creative. So, we're going to angle this a lot further over here than had it. Gives us a lot more space for that turn. Hopefully not going to interfere too much with Powder Keg. But we'll see. Again, I can adjust Powder Keg a little bit to be in a slightly different spot if we need to. And then we're gonna pull the terrain down here a lot, by the way. They're not gonna relocate that, okay. True, but we gotta fit it in. We gotta fit everything in. That's our dilemma here. Hopefully we can get this lined up. Oh, it's looking pretty good. And get it as close as we can here. And then we'll adjust it. Not too bad. I know this turn it's not completely accurate. I get it, but we gotta adjust. We're gonna have to sacrifice some stuff, and we're gonna have some inaccuracies. It's gonna happen. It's not gonna be 100% perfect. I try my best to blend those inaccuracies in as best as I can here. Okay. I think that's gonna be the best we're gonna do, though. I know this is closer to 90 degrees in real life, but I had to get it as close as possible, and I also want to make it to where it can house 3 trains also, so that's gonna be the goal, is to house 3 trains there. Easy enough to adjust the terrain here. So our track's not in the ground. Don't worry, I'll do it over here too. I think I'm mostly going to use rock work to cover up this. We're going to use rocks instead of terrain. I think that's going to be the easiest way to go in all that situation. But hey, we have a complete circuit now. That's exciting. So we're going to go in here. I'm going to make a few more adjustments, mostly here on the station fly-through, because it's a little iffy. Raise some of these pieces up. I think that's pretty good, and I think we can start smoothing it out and then kind of see where that's at and go from there. And hopefully we can run with 3 trains properly here. add some extra block zones if I need to. I might have to add at least one more for it to work. Because my lift hills aren't actually lift hills, and they're not going to count as block zones, so... which is unfortunate. I'm excited though, this is the best it's turned out so far. And I probably will hold off on like queue line and stuff for a while. Mostly because we don't really know what the queue line's gonna be. We can see a little bit of the station, so the design of how the station. But as for like queue line and such, we don't really have a good idea of how that will be. And then we'll have to make the back tunnel as well. I'm so excited for this ride. Like, I'm pretty darn excited for this ride. It's gonna be awesome. Hey, we got a complete circuit. I'm excited for that. We'll get multiple trains on the track here. See how well we can get it to run, and then the rest will just be scenery and decorating the track up and making it look the way it's supposed to be. I don't know if again, I'm probably not going to finish everything before we move on to like the next phase. Once we actually have more data or information of what everything's going to be like, that's when we'll finish up the rest of the ride. Like once we, probably more so once we get into more next season and I actually get to see the queue line and everything that it has to offer there. Alright, let's turn this all into flat track. Oh, we need to, I'm curious of how close I got to the track length. The real ride is 3,553 feet, I think. I could be wrong. I know it's 5,550 something. I think it's 53. Somewhere around there. Alright, let's do our first test ride. With the track that we do have. Alright, we've seen all this first half. I think the smoothness is okay for it. Smoothed out pretty well. We're not going through the ground at least now, so that's good. Hopefully we have a decent amount of speed here. I'm a little worried, but after we have this part, it's just gonna go downhill and be just fine. Ah, we need to smooth out that last part. Going into the brakes, it's a little rough there. But it completed the circuit. Which means we can see test results. Alright, track length, I'm off by about 300 feet. Max speed of 42 miles an hour, yeah, I'm way off there. I was gonna say, it is running a bit slow through the layout. That's the thing, like, it's hard to get everything right here. Like, getting the stats right and everything. I think that's gonna be the toughest part. Like, I feel like this should be probably dipped down further. For sure, like, this should be bigger of a dip. You just gotta hope it will smooth out better. Hopefully I'm not, like, destroying this shaping of this, because it feels like I am. Trying just to get it to where it picks up more speed in this section. That's what I want to accomplish. For it to pick up a lot more speed here. Alright, now we're just gonna go through here and do the smooth forwards and backwards. And hopefully we can get it. Might make the track length a little bit larger too, so. I'll try and blend this in. Blend that a little bit more. Hopefully. Really blend that in. And then we're gonna push this down again. Goes down this hillside. Looks like it smoothed it out pretty well here, actually. And hopefully that will help pick up some more speed at the end of the ride, so. That into 2. Did I make this a block zone? Was I smart enough to do that? I did not. Let's make this a block zone. So we can operate with the correct amount of trains. And boom, we can operate with 3 trains properly. It looks like they fit just well enough. Alright, we real quick need to copy everything here. Is there not the option to... Please don't tell me it's gonna make me... Screwed everything over. Screwed everything up. I see what it's gonna do here, though. Alright, so the best way to do this is to Control X, apply to all trains. It's gonna have double in this one train. Wait, no, we just move. What am I doing? We'll just do this. On. Boom. Now we're good. There we go. Now the trains are copied properly. Okay, so this is going to be our first test for block zones. Hopefully they're spaced out good. 4 a.m. in Switzerland. Wow. Alright, let's see how well we do with 3 train operation. Hopefully this thing will be running 3 trains in real life. Alright, the next train will dispatch. Hopefully it does not stop. I don't think it will. It should be fine. Get a little interaction there, that's fun. Alright, so they are spaced out. Okay. Just might be stacked for a minute. You have to be sorry, man. Now, this is the brand new coaster that was just announced for Silver Dollar City. They just announced it. It's not open yet. It's under construction. So, since I'm doing a recreation of the park, I've decided to start recreating it and start building it. It's a new Mine Train family coaster coming to Silver Dollar City in Branson, Missouri. I actually worked at this park in real life, so... And it's built by Mock Rides. See our new stats and see how the stats are looking. I did make it a little bit longer, only by a few feet though. Max speed did get a little bit closer to real life. We're still about 4.6 miles per hour off, so we're not too off on that. They have Time Traveler, which is a Mach Extreme Spinner. But yes, the prototype was on Blue Fire from Europa, and then the first fully fledged coaster was built at Silver Dollar City, yes, in the form of Time Traveler. We're all good. Yes, we've already messed with the friction, and it's like almost all the way down at this point. Let's see if I can get rid of that fighting texture on the train. Alright, let's see where we're at on the POV. There's still a lot of adjustments we might make. Now, this has been a very challenging ride to recreate, mostly because I'm very limited on the resources I have to recreate it, so... And just fitting it into the already existing recreation I've done has been quite the challenge. I said Europa. Did I not say Europa Park? Well, we say I say Europa just to, for short. I know it's called Europa Park. I just call it Europa for short. No, it's an actual chain lift. Just in game, I'm using launches. Because the track type for the lifts don't look correctly. It's a visual thing that is the reason why. And then I'm gonna cover the launch up to make it look like a lift. I had to do some imagining of what trains and track type I want to use, because it uses flat track, but it has like these wooden beam cross ties that it's going to use, which we did on the pre-lift section. But no, the reason why I say just Europa is it's just a short way of saying it. That's why we say it like that. But no, I'm very aware where the actual full name is Europa Park. It's actually one of my bucket list parks to go to. I'd love to go to Europa Park. But yeah, that's why we have the launches as the lift hills. because this track type, it makes it into a big box, and the real ride doesn't have that, so it's more of a visual decision for me, more than anything. So yeah. But no, I want to go to Europa Park so bad. And we ride American Plunge. We can, but you're gonna have some terrain in the way. I actually probably should move that out. Go ahead and move that out of the way. I don't know if I've ridden American Plunge on this yet, where you guys could see it. Like, I've ridden it myself. I don't know if I've ridden it on stream yet before. Actually, Epic Universe. I want to go to Epic Universe so bad. I haven't been down in the Florida area since 2021, so I have yet to go to Epic Universe. Where am I? What is happening? Why am I? What is happening? We're gonna go in October. Nice. To Fantasia Land too. Nice. Going to a wedding in Italy. Fantasia would be a really fun one too. Yeah, Fly looks so good, and we just got that coaster type in Planet Coaster 2 in the game. I'm so happy. So excited about that. We got the next gen Vekoma Flying. This view is kind of weird. Why are we sitting so low in the seat? Oh, we still have some terrain we gotta walk through here, go through here. Oops. Well, I'm feeling just like everyone else, sad, of course. They actually sent a work email about it. The Hershin, so we have get emails from work sometimes, and they sent us an email about it too. County is getting a mock coaster as well. World's first unique element. Nice. Mock Rides is like on it right now. They are like killing it. POV is weird. Ooh, and sploosh. But yeah, Mock is going crazy. Made a cool Mock Striker. Hopefully we get that coaster type in the game soon. Bum, 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 ba-da-dum. This is gonna be such a cool ride though in real life. I can't wait. I know my recreation isn't fantastically accurate, but how did I get good at terrain? I mean, I wouldn't consider myself great at it. Whew. It's crazy how naked the ride looks right now. We're gonna have to edit the track more and make it to where the connection points are more separated. The final product track kind of looks like this. We did it on the pre-lift section. And SDC is actually adding these planks themselves. Like they're adding onto it. To the track. Not by Mack Rides. Like, Mack's not doing these wooden planks. Like, SDC's building those and attaching it to the track. Which is pretty interesting. Just for theming. They're doing it just for the theming aspect of it. Yeah, I'm back to work tomorrow. Park's been closed the last couple days, so. You're not being rude, don't worry. Well, it's replacing a beloved... It's kind of in a way... So we have a mine train at Silver City called Thunderation. It's closing at the end of this season, and then this will open up next season. So it's, in a way, a spiritual successor to Thunderation, which is a fantastic mine train coaster. So we're getting a new mine train coaster in a different location, and this is not where Thunderation resides. Thunderation resides over by Time Traveler. It's supposed to be the longest... It's the longest family coaster in the Midwest. As for family coasters goes, it's one of the best. It looks to be one of the best, so... They're dubbing it as the most legendary family coaster, basically. And the music playing in the background right now actually is the theme for the ride as well. Like the original theme that goes with the ride. Which I'm surprised no one has complained about yet, because it's just been on loop this entire time. It's just that catchy to me, and it gets me in motivated to actually work on it, so... I don't think there's really any many animatronics part of it. This is probably a clearance issue. You guys think? That's plenty clear, right? It's also going to be the planks underneath too, so it's going to be even closer than that. I should probably adjust that. That's why I haven't fully committed to doing the track work yet. Or like, getting everything pretty. I want to make sure everything's good before we do that. Alright, we're just gonna slowly lower this down. Slowly inching our way to a more acceptable height. And clearance. Hopefully that's at least a little bit better. Still probably not perfect. It does not go backwards, no. It's just kind of like a very traditional kind of mine train. It just has 2 lift hills. So. The wooden jetty. Bum, 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 bum. Get to work with Brother Joe tomorrow. Woo! Let's go. I really don't want to have to fix this. It's gonna be dumb. Selecting those, those letter pieces are gonna be so hard to get a hold of. See what I mean? I only got a hold of 3 of them. It was so hard to get it to where it is now. Of course, I have one random piece just like, hey, I'm gonna go with ya. Alright, so these are connected. Alright, if I do not mirrored, let's actually, we want to select this other piece, because what we'll want to do is put it individually on it. So this shouldn't be too hard as long as I can get this selected individually like that. So now I do that, I'll do this, and we're going to get rid of the mirrored. We're going to copy it. step on. We're gonna make it its own thing, so it's not mirrored. The mirrored doesn't work with text, so make sure this is on every train. There we go. And we'll take the original, stick it on here. And let's get rid of the help with this fighting texture too. We can. I think because it's mirrored. That's why. Alright, no mirror. There we go. Alright, and that should fix that. And our big problem is that it's mirrored. I don't know why we have that many pieces there. We have an extra piece there. Why do we have 2 pickaxes now? Oh my gosh, there's no R. It's Marvel Cave. We're in Boston now. It's Marvel Cave. Oh, way. Oh, I'm so upset now. Thanks for noticing that, but also, I'm upset that you noticed that. Where's the M? Why is the M not selected? Oh my gosh. One of these days I'll be able to do something right. The worst part about this is, like, it's so hard to select these letters. It's so hard for no reason. See, all that, and it still hasn't. Alright, we need to make an R. I don't know why these are so hard to select. I mean, it's nice that it's coming, that it returns from Planet Coaster 1. So, I'm happy that it's back. For sure. The Marvel Cave. I'm gonna have to somehow get all this selected. It selected the 2 that don't even make sense. Okay, we got that. Why did you have to notice this? Why is it so hard to select? Just select the M. Just select it. Select the M. Oh, I got it. I got it. It says I got 6 things selected though, which is not okay. Why do I have 6 things selected? Probably because of the other trains, I guess. Alright, we're gonna fit the R in. And then we're just gonna resize it. That's gonna be the easiest fix here. So if I select all this, don't select the other train. What are you doing? Deselect this. Deselect that. Okay, we'll shrink this down where it fits. Perfect. This has been a Dark Rider Peter Pan's adventure. That'd be cool. Okay. Perfect. Now I gotta get rid of the old one on the other side. But again, for some reason it's so hard to select these. Alright, delete that. Grab this one. Take it to the other side. We are making sure that we're all good here. Perfect. And move this back into place. We're no longer Marvel. We're Marvel. Okay. Now we're fixed. Make sure it's good over on these trains as well. Nothing wonky's going on. Perfect. Ugh. Yeah, Arthur. That would be a nice ride type to have, for sure. Okay, I think we made some good progress on that today. Well, I think, yeah, the layout's like almost done, pretty much done. We should probably do a POV though to confirm. I think we needed to just, it looked like it slammed pretty hard into here, so we need to smooth that out a bit more. I also thought about slowing the lift hills down a little bit, but let's see where we're at right now. But I'm very excited to ride this in person next year. Hopefully I'll get to ride it early. I should be able to ride it early working at the park. I do plan on working it as well. That clearance looks a little bit better. At least somewhat. Bum, 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 bum. It's not half bad. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum. It's definitely the best version I've made so far. Is it perfect? Absolutely not. But each time we've gotten closer. Awesome. I think I'm gonna go ahead and do a manual save because we haven't saved yet. Might be a good idea to do so. Bum, 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 bum. This is gonna be fun though. Alright. We'll head out of this build phone now. Might head out here pretty soon. Potentially. What type of coaster would I love to see in here? I want them to bring back the Arrow Suspended, but also, obviously, Mach Striker. Is the big one as well. So those would be probably my top ones right there. My game capture's still not working. I don't know why the game capture is not working. That is strange. Yeah. Still a few more coaster types that would be really, really nice to see in the game. Honestly, I think we're really well rounded where what we have right now. Just a few more, and we'll be pretty golden if you ask me. More than anything. Got Winland Adventure Resort, which we're slowly coming together. I hope I do eventually finish this park someday. Hopefully at some point. Got a lot to work on though. We're only done with one area in the dry park out of like 5, so. And we're slowly working on the inside one, so. The entrance area and such. All that fun stuff. I am going to put a theater over here as well, like a regular theater. We're also going to have a flying theater, so a lot of cool stuff here on the main street. Which will be nice. We're going to have a parade that runs through. And all that stuff, so. 4 themed lands, including Viking, which is the area that we worked on first. And it looks pretty awesome. I think it turned out pretty good. Then we're going to have, this is going to work us into the western area. And then we're going to have a steampunk area, and then a horror-themed area, like scary, spooky. Very heavily inspired by Epic Universe. We also have the water park as well, which is also the first thing that we worked on. Got some hotels as well as a nice big old parking lot. We got the highway over here that leads into the park. Yeah, a lot going on. Striker coaster with or without special effects. It does before the launch. You mean like a little bouncy track? I would love to have it in there, of course. I don't see why I wouldn't want it. I would definitely want to see it in there, for sure. See our Viking themed coaster, which does have onboard audio, by the way. Custom onboard audio. Need to like, there's a couple spots here and there that I need to touch up, like this little spot right here. But overall, it's looking pretty solid in here. I think it turned out pretty good. Of course, we have our City Walk area as well, which connects the parks together. Ideas for it. It's going to be very, kind of similar for Darkmoor, but it's probably the least amount of plans that I have. It's going to be the last one I work on, so I'm hoping, keeping my fingers crossed, that we get some sort of spooky pack of some sorts coming soon. I'm hoping. I really hope we get something like that. Let me turn on the audio now. So you guys can hear what's going on. We'll start from the station. We'll do front bumper as well. We haven't done front bumper in this car yet. But I do want to do multiple dark rides in this park also. So that'll be awesome. See if the audio's working.
Time to take off. Make sure we don't crash.
It is working.
That's it. We're flying. Turn right. Keep it steady. Slow down. We need to get back on track. All right, time to turn up the heat.
Whee!
Almost there. That was some skilled flying. You made it back in one piece. Come back again for some more test flights. You are a true Viking now.
I think it turned out pretty good. Yeah, that's our Viking-themed family coaster. And we have a little boat ride over here also. A lot of themed stuff going on. But here's our portal to the entrance to this area. We got actual gift shops in here, stuff like that. The restroom. Yeah. Very cool. But yeah, this is like our first area that we've kind of got completed for the most part. So I'm pretty proud of it. There's still some stuff here and there that needs to be worked on, but I think it turned out quite well. See all of our queue line here. Queue goes up here and over. Our exit. We have an unload station in here as well. So load and unload station. Very well themed, I think. And this is also a little restaurant in here. Some outdoor seating as well. I did leave this here in case we need to do more coaster nets. Did throw some netting throughout right here. Anytime it interacts with like the pathways and such. Just to be sure. It's cool because the coaster goes through kind of like the whole area of the park, which is also nice. I think so. This kind of lines up with our Viking-themed slide complex over here too. Just right next to the Viking area. Very, very neat. But a little peek at that if any of you hadn't seen this project before. This is my other big project next to Sword Art City, which those are my two main projects I'm working on right now. My two big ones. Also have Heartland Adventure, but that one's kind of like part of a whole thing in Discord, so. But alright guys, I think I'm going to head off here for now. I appreciate you guys being here tonight. I hope you guys enjoyed the live stream and everything like that. You guys are amazing for being here and checking out everything that we've done, and we're making more and more progress on Miners Mountain Express, so really excited of how that's been turning out, and hopefully it will be really good in the end. So I hope you guys enjoyed this stream. Of course, make sure you comment, like, subscribe to everything to help just support the channel, and we'll hopefully be back very, very soon with more. And I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure you have a great day and even cooler tomorrow. Thanks so much, and goodbye.